of the simile is that the juxtaposition of pietas, versus furor. Okay, now we talked about pietas, you think is piety, but it's not. So it's really talking about your sense of duty or your obligation to do what the fates destined you to do. Okay, so who would you think right now, up until what we've read, has represented pietas? Aeneas, and more recently Neptune. Okay, and who is the furor? Juno. Okay, so that's what's going. So the whole deal of why would you use a simile? What do you think? It's kind of like you kind of think of, if you're Bible scholars, like parables or like fables. Okay, so why would an author use that? Yeah, to teach a lesson or to show something that in a way that was familiar to the people hearing it. Okay, so that aqualut is kind of your key that you should like tune in to the story that they're about to tell. Sorry, I didn't know I wasn't hooked up here. Okay, so we got. I think the hardest part of this syllabus of this sentence was finding the subject. Did y'all feel the same way? So what is my subject? Where am I? Yeah, seditio is one of them, right? Okay. And then ignobile vulgus is my other one. Okay. So then we got a prepositional phrase here. Okay, I'm going to translate this cum as when. How did I know to do it as when and not with? There's not a subjunctive verb. There's no what? Yeah, there's nothing for it to go with. There's no word in the ablative for it to go with because this is an adverb, right? Okay, hold on. So we got when, or just as, when, often, a seditio. What is a seditio? A riot has arisen in a great crowd. Okay, so the populo, okay, is like in a great people. Who would the great people be if we're thinking like big picture here? Who would the great people be? The Romans, yeah. So he's saying, and so what do you think the great uproar he's talking about if we're thinking big picture of the Romans? Yeah, the Civil War that just happened between, we got the first triumvirate and the second triumvirate and Augustus kicking butt, right? So he's saying like, there was a great uproar and guess what? Someone saved the day. Okay? And the ignobile vulgus, the common crowd, raged, and this is like a ablative of respect or some ablative of place, where, or manner. Okay, so they raged in their minds. Okay, and hold on to this ignobile vulgus here because we're going to contrast it with, we got like common crowd, and then we're going to have pious man in just a minute. So hang on to that because it's on a different screen. Okay, and now torches and rocks fly. Furor administers arms. What does that mean? What does that mean? Führer administers arms. We talking about my arms? No, we're talking about, yeah, weapons. So what it's saying is, everybody's going to go get their weapons because they're mad. Okay? So, and this kind of helps us think this Furor, okay? We talked about, we've had like the verb furit. We've had, Juno being described as Furor. Okay? So it's saying like Furor causes you to be reactionary, I guess. Okay, let me flip to the next line here. Then, dun dun dun. Okay, then I think this is kind of hard because you got all of these accusatives, right? You got accusative here, you got accusative here, you got accusative here. Okay, and then this, because this is C, this is really ollie, qui. Remember, like, C, Nizzy, Newman, nay, all the ollies fall away. Okay, then you got these ablatives here. Okay, and then you got an ERE equals ERUNT there. So, since this verb, that ER equals ERUNT, my subject is plural. What is my subject? What do you think my subject is? I mean, there's not one up here, right? Right? You don't see a subject up there, do you? So what, you have to look above that. So what do you think my subject is? What? No? Well, look at your nominatives. So all those things put together. The crowd, the quarrel that arose, the furor getting the arms, like all of those collectively is the subject of conspexeron. So it's like the royal they. We don't really have a royal they, but it's like the royal they. So then, okay, they caught sight of, well, hold to that thought. Then, sorry, I forgot, I gotta do this part right here, the C forte. If by chance they caught sight of who did they catch sight of? Yeah, some man. Okay. Now we got, so this describes Wirum. Okay, now we got to go over here to this Grawim. Well, I did it as serious, but they do it as honored. It says Grawim expresses the possession of all of those qualities which makes Rome great.
The words kind of such different meanings, like that, like serious and honored. To me, those seem pretty different.
Well, like if you describe somebody as having gravitas, like their opinion is weighty. Have you ever heard that on like Meet the Press? So I'm gonna say. I'll go with honored. Honored for his devotion, okay? That's the pietas. And for his merits. Okay, so your pietas is kind of an abstract idea, right? You can't measure really someone's actual devotion to duty, right? You just look at what they do. And then meritus are their actual, like, honors that you can measure. Does it make sense? Like, actual good deeds versus your character as your pietas. Okay? Now, if you think about it, think about what we read last year with Augustus and the Res Gestae. Remember that way back? Chapter 69? Anyway, he talks about how, he not only, like, built up Rome and did all these, rebuilt the buildings and all of that, but he also was kind to both the people that he conquered and his enemies, and he gave them mercy when he treated everybody like a friend, whether he actually did or not. That's what he wrote about himself. But, so in making that connection to Augustus, Virgil is echoing all the things that Augustus thinks about himself. Okay, here's my favorite part. So here's their reaction. So when they caught sight of, if by chance they caught sight of a man, some man honored in devotion and merits. Okay, and here's their reaction. Well, hold on, let me back up. See how this pietate is at the beginning of this line? Okay? Because he puts it at the beginning of the line, like, see, he puts the pietas at the beginning and the man at the end. Okay, so what he's showing is, have you ever heard the phrase, like, the name on the front of the jersey is more important than the name on the back? Right? So he is saying, like, this person, whoever some man is, put country first. Okay? Okay. Back up. Okay, so here's how they react. They are silent and they stand with their ears having been pricked up. What does that mean? What? Do they have Spock ears? Yeah. Now look. See how he does it with the verbs on either side right there? So it's like, they're all around, and then he comes into the room, and they all turn and look at him and listen. Okay? You can also look, see how this is like assonance? What's assonance? Yeah, the vowel sounds like the opposite of consonants. So it kind of gives you the please put that on your APSA. It gives you the my Latin teacher said, I'm quoting Dr. Simone. Dr. Simone said, Doctor. Okay. So it just shows the respect that they have for this guy. Okay, so he, talking about the guy, right? He, antecedent is quid virum. He rules with his words and he calms their spirits or their minds and their chests. Look at that zeugma. Look at that zeugma.
I have a question.
Okay.
If, so like with, like sometimes, animals can mean like minds or light or spirit. If you like said spirit and it was supposed to be minds, is that like completely wrong?
No.
So, okay.
Remember how we looked at it and they had like the word,
Yeah.
and then they had like 57 definitions they would take?
Yeah, I was, okay.
Yes.
When writing, if I forget what like literary device is called, can I just say like
What it is.
the accusative?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Will they like
Yeah. They are looking at trying to give you positive points.
What's the Zugma?
Zugma is, look, he calms their spirits in a different way than he physically calms their.
Does
Yes.
it have to be two different uses of the verb, or is it just like the verb applies to one of them?
It has to be two different uses of their verb. Same verb used in two different contexts. Like he gave her his hand and his heart. I think I need to get some more red on this slide here. Okay.
It doesn't look like blood.
It doesn't look like blood yet. Maybe I should pick a different color.
I like green.
Okay. Thus, listen to this. It says, the simile ends by recalling Iquora placat of Neptune calming the seas, thus returning to the description of the sea god's actions. So, a good essay maybe would be like putting the passage of like Neptune calming the winds and that whole description, and then this whole thing, and ask you to compare and contrast.
So you'd say they both calm something.
Well, so you would talk about how they echo each other.
How long is the essay supposed to be?
I don't know however long it is till it answers the question.
Well,
I would say at least a page.
Okay, so it's not like an essay of like intro to bodies and conclusion.
No, they want you to answer the question and show that you know what the Latin says from the beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay. Thus, let's see, all of the crash of the sea fell. Okay? Afterwards, the genitor, who's the genitor? Yeah, the father. Okay, and then you got a present active participle that's also nominative. Looking out over, I don't know, there's a different word, better way to say that. Oh, it says looking out on. Okay. Looking out on the seas. Having been carried over the open skies. So this is a PPP describing genitor. He bends his horses. No, I don't think that means he bends his horses like in half, like He-Man. It's like he like turns her out. We're definitely recording this. Yeah.
Do you ever just see Keith like laughing while he's like listening to these? Does he like listen to them in first period? Does he ever just like laugh a little or anything? Or?
Probably. Okay, he bends the horses and flying, still present active participle. Flying. He gives the reins, R-E-I-N-S, not R-A-I-N-S. It says dative of indirect object. But that doesn't make any sense to me because I would think it would be ablative, right? Whatever, we're going to go with it. Gives reins to his favorable chariot.